This is a story that came out November 15th, 2017. Indiana drug czar, opioid crisis will worsen. The Hoosier in charge of fighting the state's opioid plague said the crisis is only going to get worse. You know, there is a video right here. I'm going to go ahead and play this video.
Today on Wish TV, we're taking a look at the issues affecting the opioid epidemic in Indiana. The Hoosier in charge of fighting the state's opioid epidemic says, buckle up, it's going to get worse. In an exclusive interview, 24-hour News 8's Eric Feldman sat down with drug czar Jim McClelland about what he's doing to fight the crisis on the front lines. There is no single face to the opioid crisis, but the numbers are jaw-dropping. Opioid deaths skyrocketing in Indiana, overdoses sending many more to hospitals, leaving a black hole of money a decade ago, and experts say that number has only gone north. On his first day in office in January, Governor Eric Holcomb called it an epidemic and signed an executive order to create the first ever drug czar of Indiana, Jim McClelland.
It's destroying lives and devastating families and damaging communities every day.
McClelland and his team have a 13-page blueprint to defeat the epidemic.
This problem is enormous.
It's a combination of treatment and prevention, partnerships with state agencies, nonprofits, community groups, and hospitals, several grant applications, and a $60 million federal waiver that would help Medicaid patients pay for opioid addiction treatment.
Every indication that we have had from Washington is that that will be approved.
He says successes so far include the state's 5 new treatment centers set to open, expanding Medicaid treatment coverage to methadone, and revamping the record system to track a patient's prescription history. So, how's he doing?
I don't know that there's any way that we could be doing, that we could feel like, no matter how much we're doing, that it's enough to meet what we really would like to be able to do. And that's a function of resources primarily.
His budget is only about $5 million. That's why he says those partnerships and grants are so vital. A few weeks ago, President Trump could have freed up more federal money to battle the epidemic, but he didn't declare the opioid crisis a national emergency.
More federal funds would be good. So we don't have them.
Right, but should he have done that? I mean,
yeah, I can't. I'm not going to second guess him.
McClelland says this year laid the infrastructure in the opioid fight, but the road is long.
We haven't. I don't think we've peaked.
When do you think that's going to happen?
I don't know. I can't predict. There are no quick solutions to it. There are no perfect solutions to it. And if we wait for perfect solutions, we're never going to do anything.
Next year's focus turns to more treatment options and centers, but the mountains remain daunting. Stigma associated with opioid addiction, high risk of relapse, astronomical cost, no end in sight. Many lives lost, many others struggling to survive. Leaving McClelland with a final message.
We just can't encourage them enough to get help, reach out.
Eric Feldman, 24-hour News 8. And McClelland says the fight doesn't end with recovery. He says there needs to be a way to keep people on that path. The two keys are a decent place to live and a job. McClelland also says with so many in-demand jobs in Indiana, he hopes to work with companies to help those Hoosiers.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. What the video actually said was very much like the article. If I read it, I pretty much will be just repeating it. As you can see, it's just like any other place around this country. It's just going to get worse. And I was reading that only less than 10% of the people on opioids, heroin, fentanyl, are seeking help. So it's not even anywhere close to the vast majority that don't want help at all. They enjoy the high. And you have to know how serious this drug plague is. Anytime a state got their own drug czar, I never heard of any state actually having a drug czar, so this is definitely a first. So it was a learning experience for me as well. Please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Peace, family.